Hey there, House here. We are on the verge of another NFL season, and with that, another round of my predictions. Now, before I get into my week-to-week predictions, I wanted to give you my thoughts on which teams will win their respective divisions. So, without further ado, just take a quick break. Okay, get caught. All right, let's start with the AFC East. There's been a power shift since Brady left for Tampa just 1 year ago. The new emerging power are the Buffalo Bills. They again appear to be the clear front-runner to win this division, with the Patriots searching for a different identity after the release of Cam Newton just a few days ago. It is now Mac Jones' time in New England. The Jets have been sitting in mediocrity for a long while now. After moving on from Sam Darnold in the offseason, they are setting their sights on a new signal caller in Zach Wilson. He will hopefully develop into a star for this team, which is something that they've missed for some time now. That leaves Miami Dolphins, the only true threat to the Bills this season. They will have an interesting season to watch for sure. With Ryan Fitzpatrick leaving in free agency, they will only have Tua Tagovailoa as their signal caller and leader of this team. After last year, he began starting for the Dolphins midway through the season. There were many occasions where they would bench him during the game due to poor play. He is their only hope now. So whether he thrives or struggles, he's the guy in Miami. Next, we have the AFC West. The Denver Broncos are another team who have been developing a young quarterback who might not have what it takes to be a starter. Drew Lock was drafted 2 years ago in the second round and has yet to take full advantage of every chance he's been given. They will now look elsewhere to either provide competition or find a new answer at quarterback. They have that answer for now in Teddy Bridgewater. Nothing can help this team find any real consistency unless they establish a true starter and stick with him. We'll see if Bridgewater's the answer. The Los Angeles Chargers are a team that could be bound for great things if Justin Herbert continues to perform well and build off of his successful rookie season. This team can have an offense and defense that plays equally well in a couple of years if their young stars continue to improve. However, they won't be too much of a threat for the next few years. The Las Vegas Raiders are another interesting team. They have plenty of talent on the offensive side of the ball, even more if Derek Carr can perform just well enough to keep defenses honest. Their defense, however, is still not a good one, and they will have to address that before this team can play at a consistently high level and begin to threaten the true powerhouse of this division. That powerhouse is the Kansas City Chiefs. The AFC champions of last year still have all the talent in the world on the offensive side of the ball and will win this division with some relative ease. On to the AFC North, always an entertaining division. What was once considered a division of two teams with two other teams that are easy to beat up on, that has changed as of late. There's still a team to beat up on, but they won't stay that way for long. That team is the Cincinnati Bengals. They don't have much of a defense, and their offense is far from complete, but the pieces that they do have will perform well for a long time. On to the next three teams that are all playoff bound or close to it. The Cleveland Browns, a playoff team from last year for the first time in decades, will look to duplicate that same performance. Their defense could use plenty of work, but their offense can cover up most of those mistakes. The Pittsburgh Steelers are bringing back their 39-year-old quarterback for another year as they look for a renaissance performance out of him and this offense. They performed well last year for more than half the season before falling flat on their face. Their defense will still be a force for them, but they'll need some consistency on offense to battle against the Ravens and the Browns in this division. Last but not least, we have the Baltimore Ravens. They will be led by Lamar Jackson, who can run with the best of them, as well as throw a bit himself. They were dealt a rough blow with the loss of J.K. Dobbins just last week, but they'll have plenty of running backs to take his place. With all of that and all of those options to win the division, I'm picking the Browns to win it this year. Who knows? I think Baker might do something special. All right. Rounding out the AFC is the Southern Division. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a team that could eventually be something special depending on how their new head coach and rookie quarterback develop in the NFL. With all the eyes on Trevor Lawrence to see how he plays through the season and handles the week-to-week NFL grind, as well as what can only be assumed will be some immediate struggles, something that he hasn't faced much when he was a starter for Clemson. The Houston Texans are looking for anything to be a bright spot for the season after a nightmare of an offseason. First, their franchise quarterback stated that he wanted to be traded. Then, their franchise quarterback had numerous, 21 to be exact, assault suits filed against him for coercive and lewd behavior. Now with the investigations ongoing and Watson not suspended, the Texans had thought about sitting Watson all season before trading him next offseason. Now he's on their current roster, so only time will tell if he'll actually play this year or not. Long story short, if he doesn't play, don't look for Houston to be relevant this year. This division boils down to two teams, the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. Both teams have good offensive players, one has more than the other, and both teams have good defenses. Again, one has a better one than the other. This year the Colts will look to the oft-injured Carson Wentz to lead their team. If he manages to stay healthy, the Colts could make a legitimate effort in winning the division. The Titans have tremendous talent even before they added Julio Jones in the offseason. I'm picking the Titans to win the division. Alright, in an effort to not make this video any longer than it already is, I'm going to stop right now. Thank you for tuning into the House Report. If there were some division winners that I mentioned that you don't agree with, please leave a comment on this video. Let me hear your predictions. Check back for my next video as I discuss who will be winning the NFC divisions. Also, for all my betting friends out there, remember, you win some and you lose some, but the house always wins.